Far Cry New Dawn is a $40 game and uses a lot of the assets from Far Cry 5, but that does not mean that the game will lack content. It's actually a pretty big game that I think will take you more time to fully complete than Far Cry 5. So let's take a look at the map, the amount of content and way more in this video. If you enjoyed that, then a like would be super appreciated, and let's go. I already discussed the map of Far Cry New Dawn a little bit in previous videos, saying that it's similar to the map of Far Cry 5. I mean, it's still Hope County, but really different in terms of look, thanks to the nuclear bombs and the super bloom that completely changed the world in the 17 years after the ending of Far Cry 5. What you will notice when looking at the world map is that it's a little bit smaller, especially the outer areas of the map should not be explorable. Still a lot to discover though, and during my play session I stumbled upon multiple things while exploring this open world. Far Cry New Dawn now tracks their lootable locations, so small houses that are not part of an outpost or where you happen to fight some enemies for a mission will now have resources as well, and thanks to a tracker you will know if you got everything in the area, so you know if you are ready to move on. And as shown in my all weapons video, resources are needed to craft weapons in New Dawn, also the most powerful weapons, and so you totally want to search these locations before you go to the next objective. There are 101 lootable locations in Far Cry New Dawn. We see that thanks to the general progression tracker that you see when zooming out of the world map. And you likely already knew this, but the world map is now just one big thing instead of 3 different regions as we saw in Far Cry 5. So you don't progress the story by liberating people while you can still save people from the enemies in Far Cry New Dawn, the Highwayman. No, you progress the story by upgrading your base. Something that at one point after doing many main story missions, it will say that you need to upgrade your base prosperity by getting some specialists that are out there in the world and doing some regular base upgrades as well, as shown in the base upgrade window. There are 22 story missions in Far Cry New Dawn. Far Cry 5 had 28, although I think it's hard to compare the two because of the different progression structure. But yeah, I think that you are then looking at a 10-hour long campaign, something like that, and that is only for these missions, while again there's way more to do. We have 8 side missions in New Dawn. Yes, Far Cry 5 had way more of those, and in New Dawn rescuing a gun or tank for hire also counts as a side mission too. So I already had done 2 side missions by rescuing the dog and also the boar. So yeah, it seems like Far Cry New Dawn will be light on these more story-driven side missions, but we will talk about some new features later on in this video that I think will balance it out and make the map being smaller also less of a problem. In the world map progression tracker, we see that there are 30 outposts in New Dawn, but that's actually 10 versus the 19 we saw in Far Cry 5. So yes, why does it say 30? Well, that's because in New Dawn these outposts are more exciting and also replayable. You actually have a good incentive to keep doing them over and over again as well, as I mentioned in my all outfits video, and I will kind of re-explain that in a little while. So if you followed my New Dawn content, then you know the drill, right? You can take over an outpost in New Dawn for the first time and keep it, to have it as a fast travel spot, a garage, a shop to buy medkits for example. But if you are up for an extra challenge and need the ethanol, a resource that is needed to upgrade your base, so super valuable. So yes, anyway, abandoning the outpost you captured from the Highwayman gives you 50 ethanol on rank 1, and then the Highwayman will come back and take it over again and bring the outpost to rank 2. And then you can retake it again from these stronger enemies. And if you successfully take over a rank 2 outpost, then it will also be counted to this outpost progression tracker. So that's why they are 30, because every outpost has 3 ranks. So when you first do the outpost, it's always rank 1. If you choose to abandon it, then it will be rank 2. If you choose to abandon it again, then it will be rank 3. But I think that even after you completed the rank 3 outpost, you can still try it again. Because after completing an outpost, you have a chance to get a certain piece of an outfit. Like for example, the Demon Gorilla outfit is linked to the Trailer Town outpost. And since there are 4 outfit pieces, the head, the chest, the hands and the legs, it means that you at least have to be able to do this outpost 4 times. But in reality, likely more, because like I mentioned in that outfit video as well, I did the Broken Forge outpost for the cool night costume 2 times without getting 1 piece of this set. So yes, where Far Cry 5 outposts were pretty easy to complete and did not have any replayability or variance. I mean, you could replay them, but then they were just the same and not really that exciting. Far Cry New Dawn expands on that and makes it part of the progression loop to go out and clear harder versions of the same outpost again. And I love doing outposts in a Far Cry game, so having more options and replayability sounds really cool. Of course, we have to wait and see what the drop chance for these outfit pieces will be per outpost, because it would suck if you have to replay like the same outpost 20 times to get a full set. The big new thing in Far Cry New Dawn are the expeditions. So again, the world in Far Cry New Dawn totally feels different compared to Far Cry 5, and I think it's actually fun to explore some of the same buildings that now have completely changed. But we will also be going to different parts of the US to fight the Highwaymen. And while we did not know how much of these expeditions we could explore at launch, the progression tracker implies that there are 7 of these different locations that we can go to with the helicopter from our home base. Yes, it says 21 because these expeditions also have 3 different ranks, just like the outpost. You unlock rank 2 of the expedition after beating rank 1, and a higher rank will not only mean tougher enemies, but also that the package that you need to secure and take home via the helicopter will be on a different location. So that should change up these missions enough as well when doing it alone, or of course with a friend. Because yes, just like Far Cry 5, everything is playable with one co-op buddy, and I really think that good communication will be needed for the higher rank expeditions. I was able to play 2 expeditions during my recent play session, one on a big boat and one in a sort of desert area. Loved the last one, especially since it's really completely different from the rest of the game. But we of course already saw gameplay of the theme park as well, that you actually unlock as a 3rd expedition to go to. And in the reveal trailer we actually saw a castle as well, that I don't think we've seen gameplay of yet. Okay, maybe it's more a sort of prison or military base, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. So we got those 4, and then there will be 3 more. And I really can't wait to see what they will be like, because going to that desert area for the first time was really cool. It looked beautiful. So yes, the New Dawn map is smaller, but there are 7 other locations we can go to that are replayable as well. And because of the new weapon unlock system that requires you to upgrade your base first and get many resources in the world instead of dollars that you could easily get by selling animal pelts, I think getting everything in New Dawn will take a really long time. The challenges return as well, where you have to kill enemies with certain weapons, for example. These give you perk points that you can then use to unlock new perks in the game. The prepper stashes are now treasure hunts. There are only 10 of them in Far Cry New Dawn, while there were like 26 in Far Cry 5. So yes, a little less, but still, these are small little puzzles that are pretty fun to do. For one, I had to go inside a mountain and use cars to get to the treasure, but one car had the brakes still on, so I had to release them to make it fall into the water so I could jump on it to get to the other side of the cave. And yes, you get perk points from doing these types of treasure hunts as well, but because of the focus on resources, I found that these treasure hunts were actually really nice to chase, because it gave me a lot of resources to craft the weapons that I wanted. Some old school collectibles of course return as well. We got music players, and you need to take photographs of the world as well. I really think that we're looking at least 20 hours of content to complete most of Far Cry New Dawn, and they will likely be far from unlocking all the weapons, outfits, and doing all the outposts and expeditions on a higher rank. Where in Far Cry 5 there was really not a lot to do after you completed the main story, it seems like New Dawn will have more things in place to keep you in the game. And in Far Cry 5 I really wanted that, to play more after the main story, but doing the same outpost over and over again was not that fun at all, because after you liberate every zone in Far Cry 5, there were no enemies like left in the world. So you got an open world shooter with no enemies to shoot. So let's hope that that's not the case in New Dawn, and that there are still enemies like roaming the world after we completed the main missions. But yeah, looking at the many things that Far Cry New Dawn does as response to the feedback from Far Cry 5, like we can have our dock in the car right now, the replayable outpost, the craftable weapons instead of a dollar economy, I really think that they also looked at this piece of feedback that was pretty loud in the Far Cry 5 community, and they likely changed some things to still have an exciting world after you completed the game. But yeah, we will find out soon enough, because the game is actually already out on February 15th, so really soon. I actually expect my review code for the game in the coming week or so I can already play through the game and prepare a lot of content for you. But I will likely have some other videos as well as we get closer to that launch, so totally expect the same style of coverage as I did with Far Cry 5 last year. I really can't wait for that. Like this video to support the channel, check out my recent Far Cry New Dawn videos on all the weapons in the game and all the cool outfits that you can unlock. And I will speak to you next time, of course. Goodbye!